Before Skype, access and support was really difficult for me. I have difficulties going out and by myself. So it was a matter of trying to find someone that would go with me, stay with me, and bring me back home. So that was difficult. And also in a classroom environment, I sort of got lost with the other students. I interrupt a lot when I'm speaking because I have to get my thoughts across before they disappear. So it made me quite rude. So then I sort of backed off, and I wouldn't put my hands up or I wouldn't ask questions. Also, because I learned slower, they were getting further ahead from me, so I sort of pretended that I knew what they were talking about, and I'd walk out the classroom and not know. So it was a lot of stress for me, and a lot of anxiety. I tried one-to-one having tutorials actually at home. It didn't work out for me because my home's my sanctuary and I feel safe. To have a stranger come into that was really anxious for me because they were, imposing in my personal space. So I didn't enjoy it, and also I felt like I had to entertain them because they were a guest in my house. So it almost felt like, someone coming around for a cup of coffee. So I didn't interact with the learning. It was very rushed. It was very hurry up and do your bit, watching the clock, leave quickly so I can get them out. So Skype for me was a lifeline, because even though Kerry's there, she's not imposing in my space. So it's like a virtual friend. She's not a real person, if that makes sense. So I can relate to it better because I don't have that personal interaction with her. So no, it was brilliant for me. It has been amazing.
At school, I had tuition from tutors that were like within part of the school, and then I came to university and tried to do the same thing, but found with our ever-changing timetable it was really hard to fit it in. So it's been quite nice for me to have that flexibility.
My biggest fear for Skype was one that I didn't understand. I'd never used it before, so I didn't know what to expect from it. And it was the whole thing. I hate getting my picture taken. So it was that being on camera and having someone else looking at me and judging me, and that filled me with dread, thinking, am I going to be able to know what that person's thinking, because I didn't know what the quality of it was going to be like. So I go on people's facial expressions a lot. So I need to see their facial expressions to see what they're thinking. And that was my biggest worry, that I couldn't get that. I don't know how to explain it, but I couldn't see what they were thinking. And I didn't want to be on camera, but because I thought I would have had to look at myself. And I understand now that I'm down there in the corner and I can barely see myself. So it's, that anxiety's gone, but that was my biggest problem, being on camera.
Mainly I was just a bit worried that it would be really weird talking to someone who I've never met on Skype. It's kind of a novel thing, and all of my lectures are done face to face, so it's a bit different. But Kerry was pretty good. She was really calm about it. No, not at all. And I'd already used it a few times before my first session, so there are just a couple of extra things like screen sharing, which is brilliant, that I had to learn.
It wasn't difficult learning how to use Skype. It was pretty straightforward. It does what it says on the can. All the buttons do exactly what you want them to. The barrier I had was actually using technology and coming out of the dark ages of, using equipment that was there to help me. I was very stubborn. I didn't want to try new things because I was scared of it, and I was scared of getting it wrong. But once I got used to it, it took me a couple of sessions to get used to it. And it's brilliant now. I haven't got any problems with it. I know how to send files and receive files, even though sometimes I do forget how to do it.
I found it's made it easier to access, actually. It's enabled me to have more appointments, and it's given me the opportunity to send my work across before we have an appointment, so we can actually go through what I've done rather than having to do it and try and find the tutor to give it to them. So yeah, it's made it much easier.
It's much more comfortable for me to do it this way. I'm more in control. It's I learn better because I don't have the worry of going out, and plus you don't have you've got to, for 2 hours learning, you have to add on travel time and travel costs and things like that. So for me, access and support through Skype is it's not as time consuming. I just come on, do my thing, and then I'm back off again, and I'm at home, so I don't have the anxiety of getting back. Um, Accessing it, it's the only way I think I would access it now. And I know that sounds negative in saying that I wouldn't try anything else out, because I have tried other things out, but it just works for me, and it's given me confidence now to learn a lot better and learn quickly as well, because I wasn't learning as quick through other methods.
I think I'd have a massive panic, to be perfectly honest. It's made everything so much easier, especially my essays. To have that ease of contact, being able to email something across and then being able to go through it and just ask the odd question. And the nice thing is with the conversation on Skype, if anything's typed in, you can still pick that up after the session. So it's, if you miss writing something down, it's still there. You still have access to it.
Couldn't access Skype, I don't think I'd access any support.
I think my favourite thing is probably being able to stay at home where I've got all of my books, I've got all of my study notes. I don't have to lug massive bags of things into uni every day. So yeah, it's definitely ease of access.
The screen share, it's brilliant. You can work on a document with your tutor, and either you can work on it or they can, or you both can. And it's even to learn how to use other bits of equipment like the text help, Kerry can show me on what buttons to press, and I can follow her cursor. Whereas if someone else is doing it and they've got, hold of the mouse and they're just running it around the computer, you can't keep up with it. But with this, I can actually track what she's doing with it, and she can help me by going, it's up there, or, it's over there, and help me with hand gestures. So it's better for my learning, because I learn by touch, sight, and all the other things like that. So no, screen share is the best thing for me. There's lots of reasons why I'd recommend Skype. The first one is because it's accessible. There's no travel time, travel cost. It's just you sit down, you do it, and you get back to it. So it takes the anxieties out. The screen share that you can work on documents. You don't have to send them off an email and then they send them back. You're actually there talking about it face to face, so you can change and analyse things together. Just that it's always there. You don't have to book appointments. I mean, you have to book appointments, but you don't have to wait for them to get back to you. It's almost instant, if they're online. It's one-to-one. You don't have to share your time with other people in a classroom. You've got your teachers, telling you you've got control over what you're learning. You can say, that's enough, I've finished now, without insulting someone and asking them to leave your house. I'm fine with saying to Kerry, I don't feel like doing any more. So they're the reasons why I'd tell someone to use Skype.
Just because it's so easy. It's really simple to use. You can do it at your home or at uni, or you don't have to stress out about being in a certain place at a certain time. You've just got to be at home with a computer or a phone.